I don't know how much longer I can save that plant from the frost. This is actually, it's two plants, it's two jalapenos. There's a lot of blossoms on it. I've got a few jalapenos. I would like to take at least one of them, probably this plant here, and repot it and bring it into the house for the winter. That's what I would like to do, because one of these days it's just going to get too cold to have that window. Hey folks, I am in the shade again. I know it's early morning. Well, it's about 8:30, so been in my garden since about 6, so it's been about 2.5 hours. The road crew, I don't know what they are doing, folks, but I can tell you, it's roaring of machinery, and it's backup beepers, and there's jake brakes, and the work crew is hollering, and I don't know. It's one of those things. Today it's bugging me a little bit. My anxiety might be up just a little bit. So, and that's the thing with anxiety. If you have anxiety, or if you have a tendency to have anxiety, little noises really bother you, or little noises out of the norm. So when things like that bother me, I know my anxiety is a little bit higher than what it should, so I need to step back and do a little Zen time, right? So anyway, I'm up at my garden. As you can see right there, that was like this here. And that is my hops during that real windy storm that broke. And I have yet to fix it because I have not had time. But they're doing just fine right there. The frost has hit them just like everything else. So this morning it's been in the garden. But this morning I was thinking, I don't know, it just came to mind. I hadn't thought of it for years and years and years. Actually, I was taking my carrot tops and trying to figure out if I want to bring them in the house to finish drying. They've been hanging in the woodshed, right? And I had decided to remove them from the woodshed and put them in the house just so they'll dry a little faster. So, but anyway, while I was messing with that, it popped into my head a conversation years and years and years ago, folks, where this family came to Maine, and the kids had never been here, and they were 7, 8 years old, I guess, something like that. There was no way they were 10 years old. So it was garden season. Everybody was gardening. I think it was Memorial. Everybody was putting their gardens in, and afterwards, I knew this family that come up to visit a family that I know. And once they got back, the family that they come up here to visit went down to visit them, right? I think it was like July. So when this family up here went down there, they asked, you know, what they thought of Maine, and now that they've been back home for a little bit, did they like their visit to Maine, what they thought about Maine. And one little boy says, "You're all so poor up there, you have to hunt your own meat and you have to grow your own vegetables. That's poor." Right? So this family does not, they don't hunt, they don't garden. Everything is bought from the store, and they just that's all the kids knew, right? So there's frugal living, which is what I feel that I do. I know there are a lot of frugal channels out there that focus on frugal, and their title of their channel is frugal, and the title of the videos is frugal. I'm pretty frugal as well. And if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably already figured that out, right? So I'm pretty frugal. I don't waste anything in the garden. I try not to. Like carrot tops, old greens, or I'm going to go right back to the old, bitter, tough greens that still are loaded with vitamins. I will harvest them. Any any root vegetable that may be woody, I will still harvest that, and I'll powder it, right? Dry it and powder it and use it up. So I think that's pretty frugal. So I, I don't have to announce that I'm frugal. So, but that's what I do. I don't waste. Um, I just don't believe in wasting things. I've worked too hard for me to allow much of my garden to go by the wayside, right? I've worked too hard for that, and if I don't utilize everything that I possibly can, then I've done all of that for nothing. That's just how I feel. And if you've gone to the grocery stores lately, uh, some people have vowed that they are going to learn to garden next year, right? And they're going to learn to forage. So, which reminds me, I have discovered a little while ago, actually, one of the subscribers here on that belongs to my channel had mentioned this YouTube site, and it took me a week or two to get around to getting it. I write it down. Any recommendations, I write it down, and I do check on them. And I fell right in love. I did. I fell right in love with this woman named Teresa. Now, I can't remember. I've watched so many of her videos, folks. I can't remember where she is located, what state, but it's certainly not in the Northeast, right? But she does like to visit Maine, and she likes Maine, and she heard that we have so many blueberries, wild blueberries up here, that you can just pick them no matter where you're standing in the state of Maine. You can just pick buckets and buckets and buckets of blueberries, and I kind of had to chuckle at that. So, sorry to disappoint you, Teresa. But this video channel, it's old ways gardening and prepping. Now, folks, she really knows her stuff. Okay, she really knows her stuff. She goes and she collects things from the wild. She's pretty good at what she does. She's pretty good at teaching what she knows, and she demonstrates along the way. And she doesn't make any bones, folks. She's just gonna tell you like it is, and I really admire people like that. And she's not rude by any means. She's very grateful. She's very thankful. Somebody that I could really relate to. So for the subscriber that recommend me watch her, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. And now I'm going to send y'all over to become acquainted with Teresa. You're going to learn a lot, folks. There's a lot of things out there that, like I've said before, people say are poisonous that aren't. You just have to use it appropriately. You have to follow certain directions, guidelines. You just can't be foolish about it. You need to know what you are doing. And she's a really good teacher, folks. So, I used to teach foraging classes. There's a lot of what she says that is pertinent information, and she says it in a way that anybody and everybody can understand. She does not put on any airs. She is who she is, and she's being pretty genuine, folks. Okay, she has a big heart. So if you wouldn't mind going over and sharing some love, and I'll put the link down below this video, to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. You are going to learn a lot. You are going to really enjoy this lady. And show her a little love, like, subscribe, comment, tell a hippie chick sent you. You won't be disappointed, folks, alright? So I've got to get back at it. I've got the guinea going off. The geese have quieted down a little bit. I've got that machinery roaring out there. And I've just got to get back at it. And I'm not sure about another video today. My to-do list that I made at 1:30 this morning is long and lengthy, folks. So we'll see what we can do. No promises. Either way, you have a good day. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.